Welcome back, everybody. This is Brandy M. Miller with Creating with Love, where we work to share videos that spread love, hope, and joy to every human heart through creative expression. Now, yesterday, we went over the characters. The day before that, we outlined. If you didn't catch those videos, I stop the video now, go back, work through those. It'll only help you position yourself for making sense of this tutorial, since every tutorial I give you builds on the one we did before. So today, we're going to be expanding on our characters. We're going to be starting our single page synopsis and kind of fleshing out that plot. And I'm just going to work through it with you and show you how my process works, so you can choose whether you want to follow this process or not. It really does help me, but everybody's different. So let's go over, and I'm going to share my Google Doc. And I'm going to show you one of the main benefits of outlining your story and doing all this pre-work before you even start writing. You remember the characters we created yesterday. We've got the devoted Catholic, Constance Connie Finnegan, who's a late 20-ish career worker. I want you to hold that thought for a moment, because her sidekick is her beloved grandchild. She's late 20s. How does she have a grandchild? That's an epic question, right? Well, there's an easy fix for this. And we didn't have to worry about fixing this problem after we got most of the way through the story and then realized it. We got to fix it early. So there we go. It's a beloved child. And maybe it's not even a child. In this case, I think it's going to be a niece, because I think she isn't yet married and isn't yet having children. She's committed to getting married eventually. She desires to, but she hasn't found the right person. And right now in her journey, I think she's prioritizing her career. I think that's where her real conflict comes. So now that we've decided who she is and what's going on, we're going to do some extra work. So let's go in, and I'm going to drop a heading 1, because this time we're going to be focusing on the main character, Constance Connie Finnegan. Now, because she's Catholic and not just Christian, one of the things that is very Catholic is to give your child a saint's name, or to name them after Mary, the Mother of God. And since she has a special connection to Mary, we're going to make her middle name Marie. So it's Constance Connie Marie Finnegan. That's very in line with being Catholic. We're also going to do something else, a little bit of research into this person. Because we've chosen to focus on devoted Catholics, not just any Catholics, we want to make sure that the details that we choose for Connie fit her. So let's come over here, and we're going to open a new tab. Let me stop sharing and make sure I'm sharing the right thing so you can see what I'm about to do. Okay. So let's see the average age of a devout Catholic. Okay, so Catholic by the numbers. This is from the National Catholic Register, so it's a good source. We're going to skip the AI version because I always call that into question. Okay, so the average age of a religious taking perpetual vows was 36. The oldest sister made her vows at 61, the youngest at 78, or the youngest at 24. Okay, so we're not looking for religious. What we are looking for is people who attend Mass regularly. Now, this is about religious brothers and sisters. Okay, that's not who we're looking at. Average age of a devout Catholic in the United States. Pew Research Center's Religious Landscape Study. All right, so we'll go straight to the source. I don't like to use AI for that. They say that 20.8% of religious groups are Catholic in the United States. And since this is basically based in that, we'll go through that. Age, let's see. Age distribution for a Catholic. Yeah, 33%, the largest demographic, are between the ages of 30 and 49. So if we hit within that range, we are going to appeal to the largest number of Catholics. Let's see. 62% of those between the ages of 30 to 49 believe in God. 51% say religious is very important. So 30 to 49 seems to be a really good target age group. So what we're going to do is an average of those two. We'll make her, that's how old we'll make her. 30 plus 49. And this is going to help us with marketing divided by 2. Because if we know what we're looking for, yeah, she's 39.5 years old. So she's 39. Okay, so most of her life, and that makes sense. That tracks. Yeah. And then Tess is also in that age group. Maybe we'll make Tess a little older. She's in mid-40s. So Tess is a little older. She's a fellow Catholic, maybe not as devout, maybe not devoted the way Tess is, or the way Connie is. All right, so what we know about her is age is 39. Her education, average education for a 39-year-old American woman. Let's find that out. So it looks like most likely she has a bachelor's degree. All right, so that's what we're going to give her. Let's see, most common education, most common occupation. Find that out. Right. So her most common education or most common occupation for somebody in her age group. She's a sales manager. Okay. Yeah. Or actually, I like the third. She's an elementary school teacher. We'll just go with that. Since I have half of one, I can relate to it. That's why I'm choosing it. All right. And it will also help me with marketing. If my book speaks to teachers, guess who's going to be spreading it around? All right. So her occupation, teacher. And what else do we want to know about her? Marital status. She's single. She devoted most of her life to her job. And we need to change Samuel Brown. Let's see. Average age. School principal. 49. Yeah. So he's 10 years older than she is. We're looking at Samuel. Early 40s. Well, that makes sense. Maybe Angela Draper then is her teaching assistant. That would also make sense. Okay, so this is starting to track with how we're bringing all these together. Okay. 11th niece, Lucy Finnegan. You know what? That means maybe if we change things a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm thinking these things through out loud so you can see what process I go through to get this done. Marital status is single. Her does she rent or does she own? Yep. The average U.S. school teacher rents their residence. They can only afford a fraction of homes for they own their school. So she probably rents her home. She's single. She rents an apartment. What else do we need to know about her? Religion, Roman Catholic. What else? Height. You're going with the average here. Average height of a woman in the U.S. 5 feet 3 inches. Okay. So not really tall. And she's average weight. Let's put her right in there. It's 107 to 140. Let's calculate that. We're going to put her right in the middle. At 123. Okay, so she's pretty healthy. Height, weight, hair. Look at it. Red hair is the rarest. Okay, so most likely her hair is brown. Let's just go with that. And her eye color is brown. And let's see. Where? %80 of women live in a metropolitan area. New York, Los Angeles. Let's pick Chicago today. Chicago, Illinois. It's one of the top. And I picked that because it actually happens to now be within about 5 hours drive of me. So taking a trip to visit that city, to scout that city, to get insights into that city and neighborhoods is not that difficult for me. I will have to do that research later when I've written the book, but for now, we just pick it. See, so those are basically the main details. Now let's get to her actual story. So what's her green goal? We need to look at her now that we kind of understand her physiographics, the things that are external to her. We need to look at, you know what? Where's the average Catholic woman in college? Let's see, let's say that she attended the University of Notre Dame. Yeah. Actually, I have a favorite, but we'll say that. Right, so I'm going to stop that share. We're going to go back to our. Let's go back to our. Yeah, I'm going to stop that share and I'm going to flip over here and go back to sharing so that you can see the appropriate screen. Journey to Love. So far, that's what we're calling it. We'll see. So we've got our physiographics. Those are the markers that are common, creating a common character portrait. Now, her greatest longing, she wants to be a great saint. Well, I guess we can call this her deepest desire. Greatest fear, losing her salvation. But also her greatest strength is her love of learning and desire for the truth. Greatest weakness let's see. Psychologically, where is her greatest weakness is her love of nice things. She's got a bit of perfectionism. Quite driven and motivated to get places, but Sometimes that means that she overlooks the things that she should be paying attention to because she's so laser focused on a goal. And now we come to her story, if you will. How did she get here? So, where are we? What's going to happen to her? So let's start with the first stage of her journey. She's interested in reclaiming the world for Christ. What led her to the point where she thought of it? She tired of the status quo. She sets out on a journey to reclaim the world for Christ. Let's see. Let's go back to her. To protect her niece, but let's say to ensure her niece has a world to live in. Race sets out on a journey to reclaim the world for Christ. In Act 2, though, her spiritual director, Gerald Kramer, encourages her to reclaim her own heart for Christ first. Which advice she does not appreciate. Because she can't see, she's kind of blinded to her own, the way that she is not necessarily on fire for Christ the way she should be. So she composed about Deacon Rayner's advice to her sister Tess, who advises her to and tells her that she's only one person and there's nothing she can do to change things. Goes to her mother, Mary, for spiritual advice, for consolation, and is reminded in praying during her rosary prayer, she was literally born to make this difference. And so this is like the 5 steps that we're going to go through to get from the point where she asks herself, how do I reclaim the world for Christ, to the point where she recognizes the mistake that she's making. Okay, so now we have introduced some of the basic plot points for this story. Right, and what is this going to result be? especially those she finds the most irritating. Besides giving friend or teachers a bacon which made Angela that's been a thorn in her side the entire semester, and to discover what her story is. So that's where this book starts. Now, what is going to happen in the journey, I don't know. But that's a short shift of it. All right, so let's move on to the next character, which is our villain. As I mentioned yesterday, the villain is the second most important character in your story. They literally mirror the hero and force them to look at their own character, their own flaws, the areas of their life where they're messing it up. And they're like sandpaper on the soul. So I want to mirror her. Face of Temptation, Samuel Brown. Now, the reason Samuel is her boss, he's a very driven and motivated man, just like her. And they're older than she is. And he's got a PhD. Elementary. What's a common PhD? Doctorate in Educational Leadership. There we go. But it should be noticed, he's a terrible leader. And we know that because he's the villain. He's exactly what he should not be as a leader. Occupation. Principal. Marital status. Divorced. Property status. Homeowner. Well, let's check that. Demographics. Most common to most principal rent. Yeah, most buy homes. Okay. So he's a homeowner, even though he's divorced. Let's find out. What's the most common for a 9-year-old in the U.S.? Christianity. Majority identified he's an evangelical. Oh, that's a good one. As they're usually pretty toxic when it comes to dealing with Catholics. Even though we have a lot in common, they tend to be very antagonistic toward Catholics. All right. Average height of a man. 5 foot. Wow, that's short. Nah, We're going to make him taller than that. I just can't do that to him. Especially if she's going to find him tempting in his own way. Infuriating, but tempting. We'll just put him at 5 feet 11. A little taller than average. Not too badly. And weight. Down 136 or 172. That's the average weight. So would have put him at 172 pounds. That's what we'll put him at. All right. So what is his deepest desire? What does Samuel Brown really want out of life? He appreciated it. Greatest fear. Greatest strength. Decisive and dedicated. So when he decides to do something, he's all in. He's going straight there. And his weakness is lack empathy. Other people's struggles. So he's a very matter of fact kind of guy, and he didn't pull any punches. And if he thinks you're not headed the direction you need to be, he's going to say so. But the problem is his own compass is a little messed up. So let's map his journey. What does he want? So let's see. This is going to start probably during Christmas break. Christmas inspires her journey. Reclaim the world for Christ. So when she comes back, he's worried about test scores. Now, Connie's problem is that she finds that his demands Okay. So now we've set up our main conflict. We've got Samuel pushing her, basically, to choose her school over her faith, which is going to cause Connie to confront some of the things that she has been doing that maybe they're not right. All right. Let's see what 5 points. What's going to happen next? Yeah, unable to get Connie on board with his plan. Puts her on a performance review plan. There's her contract up for negotiation. In 90 days. So what's going to happen is that Connie is going to see this as an opportunity. So Connie's going to win the day. Actually going to work out for her. Because, hey, that's how it goes. So it's my story and I get to write it the way I want, right? So here we go. Without Connie putting in the extra hours, he decides to investigate, suspecting cheating. After interviewing her students about their performance, he discovers she means leveraging love as the key to her success. Go. Oops, no, I don't want to turn on sticky keys. All right, so that's we go. Now, this is interesting because I helped a gentleman years ago who was a school administrator, actually, a principal, in fact. He was assistant principal the time I started working with him. He became a principal because of the book we wrote together. So I helped him write his book, Loving Education. And he was talking about the fact that this actually is the system that he used to improve his students' performance, was just loving them into doing what he wanted, into the love that they held for him caused them to want to perform better, to want to do the things that he wanted them to do. So love is an amazing thing where you've got people. Now we've got the main character and the villain. And this is kind of where we now have enough information that we can actually put together a single page synopsis. I know that this video has run long. As I warned you before, each video is going to get slightly longer than the last one because we've got to cover more content. So here we go. We're going to create the logline first now that we know where it's going. We're going to describe our school teacher. Okay, so this is our main character. She's going to race, right? Because race is a very active verb. And it indicates that there's a clock ticking. That's a bad highlight character. Let's look for something more legible. There we go. You always want to choose a nice, solid verb to grab attention. Okay, so now we're setting the stakes. So we're going to reclaim the world for Christ. That's our target goal. And this is the stakes. This is what she's got to overcome. Because if she doesn't, it's death for everybody. There we go. School teacher races to reclaim the world for Christ before nuclear war breaks out. And here's where we need a surprising plot twist. Success in their own classroom. There we go. That's quite a plot twist, right? So, how would you succeed with one classroom? Now, you have to read the book to find out then here. Now we're doing another, and this is our single page synopsis. We're going to take these various plot points. We're going to start putting them together. Hearing what's their plans. Well, that sets up our conflict. Wait now. She turns to our spiritual director. Gentleman. Gerald Kramer. First, reclaiming her own heart for Christ. Advice she does not appreciate. Okay, so probably what happens is that Deacon Gerald notices that when she's coming to complain about the principal and his interference with her work, that she's rather uncharitable. And the hallmark of living for Christ is that you deeply love people, even the people who irritate you, who present the biggest obstacles to you. And the less charitable you're capable of being toward other people in their worst moments, that's really where you need Christ the most. So Deacon Gerald's giving her valid advice. It just may not be advice she wants to take. So she complains. About the situation to her sister. Situational. That's her principal. To her sister, Tess, who tells her that she's only one person. There's nothing she can do to change things, and she might as well give it up. And she might as well give it up. Focus on keeping her job. All right. So, but Tess is notoriously stubborn. That's her. Actually, that's her greatest weakness. Her love of nice things, her perfectionism, and her incredible stubbornness. She is not always quick to change directions, but she needs to. But that can be an asset. It's not necessarily a liability. In this case, it becomes an asset. So when Connie's devotion, her new devotion to Christ, interferes with her willingness to spend more time working, Samuel questions her loyalty to the principal. Demands that she and the other teacher work extra hours to get their kids up to grade level, interfering with her plans. More willing to put in the work. All right. At this point in time, she goes to Mary for consolation and is reminded during her Rotary prayer time that she was literally born to make a difference. But also begin by serving those around her, especially those she finds the most irritating, which would be Samuel, her teacher aide, that doesn't believe in some of the kids in her class. We'll get to that later. But yeah, so there we go. Okay, so what Connie does at this point let's change that and to show them what Christ's love looks like in action. Yeah, that's a better way to do it. Change that. I like that better. So that's what will make her fix smooth. Now to Samuel's surprise. Okay, so we've got this is going to be unable to get Connie on board with this plan to work more hours. He puts her on a performance review plan with her contract up for renegotiation in 90 days, which is right about spring break. So it's basically threatening her that she's got that long to figure it out. And this is where the story kind of goes to Samuel's surprise. Let's see, Connie discovers. Oh, yeah. Let's say that she received this. Okay, so that's basically our single page synopsis, and this has taken us literally an hour to map out their journeys and to get a single page synopsis, so we now can see how this story is going to play out. That's taken us an hour of our time to do. It may take you a little longer in the beginning because you're kind of learning to play with this formula, to figure out how these steps go. It's normal, it's natural, it's not a problem. If it takes you longer, you will get faster as time goes on. I just recommend you give it a try, do your best. And if you struggle with the single page synopsis or for any reason need help, I will put my contact information in the description down below. I'll also put the link to the videos for the previous lessons in the link below. The single page synopsis is often one of the hardest things people have to write. If you can get this nailed down very quickly and very easily within, your first few moments, it can change and adapt later, but at least you got this to start marketing your books with. You know what the story is going to be about. You know how you're headed. And we may not achieve the goal. Remember, this could be a series. So it's possible that we will not get to the culmination of this in one book. This may just be the first book, and all we're doing in this instance is reclaiming the classroom for Christ, because great things start with small things. All right. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, I would appreciate a like. If you have liked what's on this channel, I would appreciate a subscribe. If you want to tell me what you thought of the episode, what you found most helpful or insightful, if you want to share your single page synopsis with everybody else, that would be great. Just give me some interaction. And if you know anybody who's writing a story and needs help, and you find this series helpful, consider sharing it, because sharing is caring as long as it's not STDs and viruses we're talking about. All right, thanks for watching and have a blessed evening.